Hello, and welcome to the Create Change 2006 info session presentation. Today, we'll walk through the year's open call, review the application process, and highlight what's new. Before we dive into the programs, let's ground ourselves in who we are and where we come from. The Laundromat Project was founded by Risa Wilson in 2005, right here in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. Her idea was simple but powerful: meet people where they already are and use art to turn strangers into neighbors. Risa often said no matter what's happening in the economy, people have to do their laundry. Laundromats have become a symbol of accessible public space where creativity, conversation, and care could thrive. At our core, the LP continues to connect art and community, always with the belief that creativity can spark belonging and transformation. Our mission is to advance artists, neighbors as change agents in their own communities. We believe creativity is a form of self-determination and transformation. If you'd like to learn more, please check out our website at laundromatproject.org. Our vision is that we envision a world where artists and neighbors and communities of color work together to unleash creativity and drive social transformation. How we do this is through our values. Nurture creativity, be POC-centered, value place, practice abundance, write our own histories, and staying community-centered. Again, you can find these values on our website. Founded in 2005, we've grown through Harlem and the Bronx before returning to Bed-Stuy, where our story began with our storefront location in 2020. The Laundromat Project is location, as of 2020, is in 1476 Fulton Street, which has now become a permanent home as of right now. This space is much more than an office. It's a vibrant hub for art, learning, and community connection. If you're interested in visiting, we're open Mondays through Fridays, except for on Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now we're going to talk a little bit about Create Change. This year's open call marks a milestone. It is our 20 years of community-rooted imagination, and it is also the launch of our new 2-year residency model. A note for this year is that the 2026 open call explores time, drawing from inspiration from African diasporic temporalities, quantum physics, and oral traditions. The theme is intended for guidance throughout the cohort and the application process. Applicants should now note that the theme is not a requirement for their practice or for the inclusion of their application explanations. A little bit more about Create Change and our breakdown of learning blocks. Our first is Make Art. At the Laundromat Project, this learning block asks, what role does creativity play in shifting narratives and creating meaning? And how can art mirror and reimagine lived experiences? Participants will explore artworks across social practice and creative placemaking, focusing on cultural asset mapping and leadership development. Our second learning block is Building Community. This block emphasizes reciprocity and relationship building. We ask, how can art build trust and accountability within communities? The participants learn to engage authentically, listen deeply, and collaborate across differences. Here, we're looking at our last one, which is create change. We are looking at power, personal, collective, and structural. And we ask, how do we leverage our creative power for equity and collective transformation? This is where art meets civic imagination. Now I want to take some time and talk about what's new in 2026. Coming from feedback on equity focused change, we have set up our structuring our program to be focused around longer prep time to support our artists, expand Bed-Stuy partnerships, more individualized coaching, and give staff pattern pause. What this looks like in some of these outcomes is through our 2-year residency model, our 20th anniversary theme. Fellowships also now includes our field day as the capstone project, and greater emphasis on process and sustainability over short-term outcomes. Now, I'm going to talk about the fellowship program. The Create Change Fellowship is a 6-month incubator for multiracial artists and cultural producers committed to art for social transformation. The fellowship highlights engaging in hands-on workshops and mentorship, working in small interdisciplinary groups, co-develop creative projects with community partners, and present work publicly at field day and for final presentations. Support includes a $1,500 honorarium and a production budget that will be provided to the group. And as a note that this is a process forward incubator program focusing on providing transformative supportive experiences, workshops, and mentorship for creating with intention in community. Fellows are supported with stipends, production budget, and access to the Laundromat Project's intergenerational alumni network of artists, organizers, and cultural workers. Fellows are paired with local organizations and co-develop projects that respond to shared priorities, working together to build activations for the field day and a discussion for final presentations. Field Day is considered a final offering, a public event, installation, performance that reflects our fellows' process and community collaboration capstone work that they've been building with the community throughout the program. The time commitment is around 6 to 8 hours a month, and we are selecting up to 12 fellows. To learn more about our fellowship program goals, deep community attunement is one major focus. Develop co-creative projects, cultivate sustainable art practices, and lastly, address community needs, health equity, economic justice, displacement prevention, and climate justice. These have been completed through our artist and community development side of a community needs assessment. Next is eligibility for the fellowship. You are to be at least 21 years of age, and you are not enrolled in this degree seeking program throughout an application as well during the program. You are committed to working collaboratively with the cohort members. You are aligned with the LP's values and POC centered principles, and you are based in New York City. As mentioned before, the fellowship is process forward, focused on experimentation, learning, and collaboration. Participants are placed in interdisciplinary groups and paired with a local community partner aligned with neighborhood priorities that have been listed prior. Key milestones throughout the fellowship program is first, March, there's orientation. April, there is Create Change Lab along the sides of the airs. There's a midpoint check-in during the summer. In August, there's field day and activations. And in October, ending with discussing your capstone project with fellows' final presentations. You can also find the schedule here. The fellowship runs from March to September and includes the following events that have been listed ahead. Also, fellows and residents are encouraged to attend each other's activations. It is important to note that our Create Change Lab is an overnight retreat taking place from April 13th to April 15th. Please ensure that you are available for those times. As it relates to fellowship expectations, time management, which is finding balance between individual needs and the overall cohort priorities, accessibility needs, being mindful of and address cohort members' accessibility requirements to ensure inclusive participation. To maximize the effectiveness of these sessions, fellows should prepare materials or reflections based on session prompts before attending, actively engage in discussions and provide feedback to peers, document key learnings and apply insights to their project development, schedule independent group meetings between coaching sessions to refine ideas, and come with specific questions or challenges for the facilitator to address. Next, I'm going to talk about our residency program, which will take place from March 2026 to December 2027. The Create Change Residency supports artists of color developing participatory, community-rooted projects across New York City. The residency benefits are a $20,000 honorarium per year and up to $10,000 in production budget, mentorship, workshops, and coaching sessions. The new 2-year model allows for deeper engagement and long-term impact. The residency unfolds in 2 phases. Year 1, deepening practice in place, exploration of partnerships, and host open studios. And Year 2 is the implementation and the expansion of their projects. The program culminates in the end of the 2 years with Gather, which is an annual reflection and celebration with participating artists taking place in 2027. As it relates to our Bed-Stuy priorities, the Bed-Stuy Residency mirrors the citywide residency, but centers artists who live, work, and who are deeply invested in Bed-Stuy. One artist will be selected for this track, receiving the same support and structure as the rest of the artists in residence. To help counter structural systemic injustices of displacement and gentrification in Bed-Stuy, we will be prioritizing applications from generational and long-term residents, which is 10 plus consecutive years, applications from individuals who identify as Black, Indigenous, Native, or people of color, applications from individuals in the disability community, including income-compromised individuals, and applications from individuals who identify as LGBTQIA+. We honor the legacy of longtime Bed-Stuy residents and creative stewards. These priorities ensure our resources reach those most impacted by displacement. Residency eligibility requires that you are at least 21 years of age, you're in alignment with the LP's values and POC-centered principles, you have a creative practice that demonstrates a record of public engagement in your creative practice, demonstrating an interest or a practice in socially and community engaged art, live in one of the 5 boroughs, committed to co-creating a community art project, are familiar with cultural history and local issues impacting the community you plan to work with. Eligibility relating to the Bed-Stuy residency are the same, except for demonstrating an interest, a deep interest specifically relating to the Bed-Stuy community, meaning there's familiarity with the cultural history, the local issues impacting specifically Bed-Stuy, and you either live, work, or show some form of investment in the Bed-Stuy communities. The residency program format is a 2 long program. Each artist will receive $20,000 honorarium each year and up to $10,000 for production budget. The program schedule includes the following: orientation and lab along the sides of our Create Change Fellows and community partners, cohort working sessions and professional development opportunities, public open studios as a touch point with your community, a mentor to support the development of your project and creative practice at large, and access to the alumni community upon completion. You can see year 1 schedule here. Please note the same expectations for being available for lab from April 13th to April 15th, as this is a vital aspect of the program. Residency year 1 expectations. The expectations from the residents are that they will notify staff they're going to miss a session or need supportive adjustments, regularly document project developments and share updates during sessions, seek feedback from facilitators and peers to strengthen their work, implement community engagement strategies explored in coaching sessions, reflect on their social practice and its long-term sustainability, identify challenges, and develop solutions collaboratively. We'd like to also place out a COVID-19 statement. Given the continued presence of COVID-19 in our communities, masks may be required while indoors at the LP storefront location during COVID-19 spikes, surges, or other elevated risk scenarios. Next, we're going to talk about the application. Applications open November 10th to 2025, and they close December 15th, 2025. You are able to apply via submittable at laundromatproject.submittable.com. The application is structured as followed. Applicants complete one unified application and select either fellowship, residency, or Bed-Stuy resident. Please note that if you're interested in applying as a fellow and you are not selected as an heir and you're applying and you're accepted as an heir, there is the opportunity to select your interest in being considered for a fellow. Applicants respond to prompts about creative practice, values alignment, and community relationships. Another note, there are no questions relating to this year's theme, and there is no expectation to answer any questions or to have a practice related to that. Parts of the application. For artists and residents, there's the expectation that a project proposal is provided in detail with a timeline. Questions are asked to gauge relationship with your proposed community. There's also a project budget template. And there's also the question about fellowship consideration. Specifically relating to the Bed-Stuy application, questions are to gauge relationship and familiarity with Bed-Stuy, and a priority statement of questions about identifiers. We value process, community alignment, and clarity of intent more than polish. Open call timeline. Key dates related to our open call timeline. The application opens in November 10th, 2025. The application closes December 15th, 2025. Award notifications are February 2026. Fellowship is taking place March through September 2026. And residency is taking place March 2026 through December 2027. A general note for applying for your application: it's always a great practice to save your work offline as you complete your submittable application. Review and selection process. LP staff review all submissions. A short list of candidates will be reviewing the artists in residence, and these individuals are called our Artists and Community Council. They will be a part of interviewing our residents and our Bed-Stuy residents who make it to the second round. In the second round, there will be a 25-minute interview, 5 minutes for the artist to pitch, and the remaining time for Q&A and questions by the panel. Office hours. Office hours will be held from November 17th to December 8th. These sessions are 20 minutes, and LP staff are there to support. You are able to book via the LP website, or you can scan the QR code that's shared on the screen. Please note that space is limited, and we encourage you to sign up early. Thank you. Thank you for joining us for the Create Change 2006 information session. Please stay connected with us. You can do that by either joining our mailing list, follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and other forms of social media platforms. And if you have any questions specifically pertaining to the application, please email us at apply@laundromatproject.org. We can't wait to see how your creativity and community practice shape what's next. Thank you.